Hello, welcome back to another review for Asian cinema season. Today I'm going to be talking about the film Willow and Wind from 2000, directed by Mohammad-Ali Talebi, an Iranian film. I'd heard about this like 6 months ago. I can't for the life of me remember where, but I saw like a clip from it, someone talking about it, and I was fascinated with the idea, and I thought that could be a really cool, simplistic kind of movie. And I came across it on Filmstruck the other day, so I thought let's include it in this Asian cinema season. You know, Iran is in Asia, and let's kind of be a bit more wider and encompass more countries in the continent of Asia, and not just stick to Chinese films and Japanese films, Korean films. Boy, was this awesome. I fell in love with this film from the opening scene where we see these kids in a classroom and this young, well, they're all young kids, but this new boy comes in. And it's just this beautiful scene where he just can't pay attention to the class. And it's his first day at this new school. He needs to make a good impression, but he can't stop looking at the window and the rain running down it. The teacher gets very exasperated with him, and he's like, what's the big deal? And he's like, well, I've never seen rain before. You know, I'm from a part of Iran where it doesn't really rain. And so this kid is just absolutely besotted with the sight of rain. And that scene doesn't really play into the film all that much, but I absolutely loved it. Just it could be its own short film. Outside the class, there's this other young boy who is not allowed into the class because he was kicking a football around a couple of weeks before and he broke the window in the class. Now that it's raining, it's becoming a problem because the water's coming in and, you know, going onto the tables and stuff like that. So they have to kind of move everything around in the classroom. So the teacher says, look, you're going to replace that window by tomorrow, or you're expelled from the school. It's as simple as that. Now this young boy, his dad refuses to pay for it. He refuses to kind of make this this new pane of glass and to get it glazed because he feels like it should be the school's responsibility or the other kids who are playing football. So this kid's dad is no help. Now he starts to kind of hang out with the new boy from the beginning of the film. I guess that's where it plays into it, where we get the introduction of the new kid in class. And these two boys form a really kind of nice beginning of a friendship. Like, they don't become instant best friends, but you see the seeds of a really nice friendship blossoming between the two of them. And, you know, the new kid in class decides to help the kid who needs to get the window replaced. I don't know the names or the actors' names or anything like that, so you'll have to bear with me. But I was really touched by this budding friendship between these two kids. You know, just, you know, oh, you're in trouble? I'm going to help you out. You know, I'll try and get my dad to lend you the money. You know, there's just something so touching and sweet and just honest and human about it that just really got to me. And so for the remainder of the movie, we follow the boy who needs to replace the window, trying to replace the window. Over this one day, he goes to get the window pane glazed. And there's a lot of, I mean, it drags it out, but it's this compelling, drawn-out nature. And it's not a very long film, hour and 17 minutes. And again, it's one of those simple movies. It literally is just a movie about a boy trying to get a window pane to his school to replace it. That's it, you know. There's a bit of setup and so on, but it's really about that small journey he has to take. And, you know, they live in the countryside, and so there's lots of walking to do to get between these places. And so once he gets the window pane glazed, which he's not even sure really if it's the right size, so there's that kind of element of tension of, you know, if he gets that window pane back to the school, is it going to fit? But there's it's not a storm, but it's raining and it's windy and it's cold and wet, and, you know, he's having to kind of wade through this river with the window pane, and, you know, there's just all these moments where you're like, don't let the window pane break, you know, like the money he's put into this, like it's just the enduring spirit, you know. I love that idea of just this kid who just wants to do right. You know, he did something wrong, he wants to make up for it, and he's willing to do whatever it takes, and he goes through the ringer to get this window pane back. And, you know, it's a really compelling journey, and by the time you get to that final scene, you're just like on the edge of your seat to see what's going to happen, and if he manages to kind of sort it all out in the end. By the end of the film, I feel like that part of it doesn't even matter. It's more about the journey than the destination. And I just absolutely adored this film. I think that it's a quiet masterpiece. You know, it's just effortlessly done, and I love the mood of the film, the rainy kind of windy mood, that just it was so comfortable to watch. It was a cozy kind of film to watch, and I thought that the child actors were very good. You know, they weren't great, but they felt like believable kids. You know, and I've certainly been through not similar. Well, actually, yeah, there was actually an experience where we were playing around by a church, and one of my friends threw a brick through the window. And a policeman actually came and visited my house to inquire about this because I was instantly blamed for it. So I experienced the second-hand guilt of something like that, even though it wasn't me that did it. So just knowing that much, I can kind of relate to how this kid probably felt. You know, he feels like the very fact that he's so willing to really, you know, do everything he can to get this window replaced shows me that he's not the kind of kid who would have purposely broken this window. So it was clearly an accident, and so I very much felt like I could relate to the anxiety he was feeling, and you know, the idea that he'd be expelled from school, and clearly he didn't have a very nice home life with his father. And I love that kind of the inkling of the new relationship with this new kid that's come in, and kids helping each other out, you know, and not kind of being shitheads to each other, which is so frequent in films about young school kids. You know, there wasn't really any element of bullying in the film, and it was just more, again, just sincere and tender, and just nice to watch, you know. And I just thought the way the film was laid out was really, really good, and to keep that kind of the weather consistent throughout the film, to kind of have those moments. There's a great scene where he's trudging through the countryside with the window pane, and he just kind of pauses by a tree, and he sits down, he puts the window pane in front of him to shield himself from the rain, and we see his perspective of the, you know, the landscape kind of slowly blurring away with the rain kind of pouring down, and the condensation building up and stuff. Just really nice touches with the camera, and beautiful countryside to see, so there's a nice backdrop for everything, and then the wind flowing through. Willow and Wind, it really plays into that in a lot of ways. I loved the old man who glazed the window, or cut the window to size, and yeah, just I loved all the characters. I loved everything about this film. I highly recommend you check it out if you can see it. If you've got Filmstruck, go check it out. I haven't seen many Iranian films. I think one was Gaba, which was really good, but this one I really connected with. This is one I want to watch, you know, on a semi-regular basis, you know, for the rest of my life. It's that good, and another great discovery in this Asian cinema season, so I highly recommend you check it out if you can find a way to see it. Just a great simple story. Sometimes you just don't need all those moving parts. You can just tell this very simple, earnest story about the enduring human spirit to just get something done at any cost. Yeah, loved it, absolutely loved it. I'm just spouting hyperbole at the screen right now, so I'll leave it there. Thank you for watching. If you've seen the film, definitely leave a comment down below and let me know what you thought about it, and I'll see you in the next one.
It's alright by me. Apart from the fact he throws cans and calling into a tree. Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, he's really cool. But he's not quite as cool as you.